So when I was a young player, I had a fair bit of talent, but the problem with me is that I was lazy and I didn't work very hard. I was the best footballer on most of the teams I played for. I was the best footballer in school. I got called up for districts and that had me feeling like the man. I thought I was the guy. I thought that, this is calm. I'm going to make it as a professional footballer. And I simply just didn't realize the amount of competition that was actually out there for me as a young player. However, when COVID hit, I decided that it was time for me to lose weight, you understand? It took a while at first, but eventually I started to see results. And that's ultimately where my work ethic kicked in. That's where I actually understood the value of working hard, the value of working and then seeing the results afterwards. Because before, I literally just thought everyone was just almost like a created character on FIFA or created, character on PES or whatever. I just thought, we all have our single attributes and we just have to work with what we have, you understand? I didn't really believe the concept of, cool, you can actually improve this aspect of your game. You can actually become good at something that you're currently bad at, you understand? I didn't understand that concept. So when COVID happened and I started to lose weight, I worked on my game, improved on things like my dribbling, my close control, my passing, my first touch. When that actually happened, that's when I actually started to understand the value of hard work. So today I'll be talking about the old phrase of hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I'll be talking about if that's true, what it's like as you climb through the levels as a footballer and how you should go about improving your game. So let's start off with the talent argument. Now, when it comes to talent, I'm pretty sure we've all seen those talented players who can just produce moments of magic on the football pitch, whether it's for your team, your school team, or wherever, even just in training. These guys, they can just produce moments of magic. But the problem with these guys is that they're lazy, you understand? They're lazy, but somehow they're just still ballers, you understand? They're just still absolute ballers. The thing is with this, you might think, this guy's the man, he doesn't even have to try hard, both train and all of that. However, this is normally short term, you understand? The guys that I've normally seen who are like this, it's normally always short term. It's normally always, maybe they're good for, 1, 2, 3 years, but eventually it just sort of dies down. Even when I join new teams and there's always, the lazy but talented archetype. Normally those type of archetypes, they don't last long with the team. Like I remember I joined the team at 16. One of the guys, he was literally this archetype, lazy, but didn't really work hard, but bro, he had talent, you know what I'm saying? He could just pull something out of the hat, had a great shot on him, first touch, everything. The guy survived, the guy lasted 2 games and then he left the team immediately. Simply because these type of guys, they don't like when coaches tell them, work hard, run harder, do this, do that. They normally, they're always beefing with someone, whether it's a player, whether it's a manager, which leads to them, getting kicked off the team early. And basically, it's just a short-term thing. When you have talent but no real, hard work to go with it, it's just very short-term. Something's gonna happen, Maybe it's a case of like Eden Hazard where he gets to like 29, 30 and his body just starts to break down because he hasn't really taken care of it. Same thing with Wayne Rooney. I know Wayne Rooney came on the scene early, like 16, but still, he shouldn't have been breaking down. His body shouldn't have been breaking down. He should not have been declining at like 26, 27, you understand? And 10 years at the top was good, but yeah, you look at other footballers like Ronaldo broke through early, Messi broke through early, and these guys were still doing that like 33, 34, you understand? Another thing with being talented but not really working on your game is that you can become reckless, you understand? I'm pretty sure you've heard the phrase where talent without skill or talent without, a real know-how how to do things is just reckless. It's just pure recklessness. I use this example as like, the winger who has very, very fast feet. He has fast feet, he's quick, he can skin a defender all he likes, but then his decision making is just so poor. His actual, fundamentals are just so poor. His first touch sometimes is wiggity. His first touch is like a brick wall, it goes out, or his shooting is just rash. Like his shooting is just so erratic. Like this leads to him, not really producing that much output, or just his decision making in the final third. He shoots when he needs to pass, he passes when he needs to shoot, he dribbles when he needs to pass, or he plays a pass too early, or he makes a run too early where he'll run offside when he just didn't need to. That's sort of what I'm talking about, where it's like talent without the hard work and application. It can just become reckless and ultimately it can just become very frustrating. This is the stage where you see a lot of young players where it's like you always tell them they need time to mature, and that's literally just they need that experience, they need to go through that fire, that work to just gain that nuance, just gain that knowledge. And yeah, like I said, just being the talented player with quick feet, doing all of that is cool. But if you don't have the fundamentals, not just technically but mentally as well, just your football intelligence, if you don't have the fundamentals down packed, then it's just a case of where you're never really gonna reach your full potential. You're always going to be that guy where it's like people will look at you and be like, alright, cool. If he just did this one thing, he would be special. If he did that one thing, he would be great. He has so much potential. He will always just be potential, but you'll never actually be able to fulfill that potential, especially as a young player. One weakness that many footballers have is improving their weak foot. For some reason, a lot of players I've spoken to just can't seem to figure out how to improve their weak foot, whether they're right-footed or left-footed. But luckily for you, I've made a course on how to improve your weak foot. This course is currently in the works. In this course, I'm going to be showing you drills. I'm going to be teaching you how to get better at, different aspects of the game in terms of your weak foot. So passing, your shooting, your dribbling. And I'll be teaching you stuff outside of the pitch that can actually help your weak foot as well, things that no other football YouTuber is talking about. So if you're interested, if you want to improve your weak foot, click the first link in the description, get the course, and trust me, you won't regret. Your weak foot will 100% improve. When it comes to hard work, the truth about hard work is that hard work is definitely true. You can definitely improve your game, but obviously there's cases where if some people are just more talented than you. It's just simple as that. I'm saying? It's just as simple as that. Some people are just way more talented than you. You can train every day for hours and hours and hours, but you might just never be as good as another guy, you understand? However, in my opinion, when it comes to the hard work, you can beat out about 95% of players. I want to say comfortably. 95% of players, if you just work hard, especially the younger age you do it, the better, you understand? That's where, the compound effect really happens and you can really, overtake a lot of players. But hard work can probably make you better than 95% of the players, because ultimately, most people who are trying to make it as a professional footballer, they aren't blessed with that high-esque talent to the point where they can just sit down on their arse all day and just do nothing, and they can still go out on the pitch and give you 10 out of 10 performances. Most people are not really, gifted like that. They're good players in all parts of the world, but to be gifted to that level, to the point where, I'm talking about Eden Hazard level, where, you could just walk about and train, not really do anything, and then go out on Saturday or Sunday, score 2-3 goals a game. It's that's rare, that's an anomaly, you understand? So if you just work hard, just consistently, and work on your game, you can be out 95% of the competition easy, especially if you're under the age of like 16, because bro, through the hard work, through not just individual training sessions as well, you just putting yourself out there, go into playing power league football, playing small-sided games with other people, just going to training sessions, one-to-one sessions, different team training sessions, just all this knowledge, all the experience you gain, you'll gain knowledge, you'll gain skills, technical skills, fundamentals that you didn't even realize. You just subconsciously just pick it up because, like I said, you're around people and you're simply just putting yourself out there and playing the game. You're simply just picking up knowledge from, coaches, from other players that are better than you. You're simply just picking little things up subconsciously that will ultimately just make you a better player than 95% of your competition. The thing about hard work, though, is that you need to understand how it works. You need to understand how it works in terms of when do you actually get the results, you understand? So if you're working on your game consistently, you probably won't see results for some time. Your results will probably start like this. Just slowly. It won't go like this straight away. Just slowly, and then trust me. Let's say a month, 2 months, even 3 months. You have to wait, and then suddenly you start seeing results like this. Results will start picking up, and so eventually you've worked on your game so much, all areas of your game, your strengths and your weaknesses, until it just starts going like that, and you just accelerate to the moon. You understand? This could take months. It can even take years. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a young player, you still got time. Like let's say you're 13, you may be middle of the pack. You're 13, middle of the pack. If you decide to work, if you decide to put in the extra effort, put in those 2 extra training sessions per week, or those 3 extra hours per week, it's gonna look slow at first, but trust me, when you get to like 14 and then 15, 2 years are gonna pass, bro. 2 years are gonna pass. Think about it. 2 hours per week. You put in 2 extra hours per week. Over 2 years, how many hours is that? Think about it. How many hours is that? What? 2 times 52, 104. 104 times 2, 208. That's 208 more hours of you playing football. Of course, there's going to be some way, somehow, there's going to be an effect where you just compound it. It just goes to the moon. So that's the thing with hard work. You actually have to believe that the results will come. If you believe that, if you train for 2 weeks and then see no results, and then you say, I'm just going to give up. It's too hard. I can't be able to wait this long. Then obviously the hard work isn't really going to pay off for you. You're not really going to believe in the hard work. If you believe in the hard work and you just understand that, that, yo, you might have to wait a little bit. It could be 2-3 months, it might be 6, it might be a year, but trust me, as long as you can see the process and you're getting better, trust me, eventually it's gonna come where you've overlapped, you know, like I said before, 95% of the competition. So yeah, when it comes to talent versus hard work, obviously you need talent. You need talent to play at a high level. You need some level of talent, you understand? You can't be just an absolute shitballer. You can't be, you know, you can't be born with 2 left feet and then expect to make it, you understand? You need to have some level of talent, obviously some level of, you know, football intelligence as well, technical ability, but obviously hard work will take you far. It'll take, you know, 95% of people. It'll be slow at first, but trust me, it'll come a point where you look around and you're like, oh shit, like I'm really the best player here, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it doesn't even have to happen intentionally. Sometimes it's just a case of maybe you were the kid where you just played football, you just played for different teams, you know, your dad or your parents took you to one-to-one coaching sessions, and you didn't even consciously, you know, say that, okay, cool, I want to get better at this, I want to get better at this. I've seen it where it happened to me where I was just simply just playing football more than everyone else. I didn't even have the intention at like 10, 11, 12 to, you know, do all of these things, go to these one-to-one coaches. I didn't go to these one-to-one coaches and say to them, yo, I need to improve my dribbling, shooting, I want to work on this, I want to work on this. We literally just worked, went to different type of training sessions. Like I said, no plan intention. I just went to go play football because I loved playing football, and then simply because I was playing more than everyone else, trust me, at like 8, 9, I was, you know, middle of the pack. Then when we got to like 10, 11, 12, secondary school in the UK, when we got to secondary school, and maybe last year of primary school as well, that's when I sort of started to separate myself, simply because I was playing way more than everyone else. Now, when you get to a high level of football, obviously there's going to come to a point where you're going to find players who are just outrageous ballers, you understand? And the things with these outrageous ballers is that they put in the work as well. So obviously there's going to be a cap to you there. But even if, in my opinion, when you get there, it's just all a mentality thing, you understand? If you keep telling yourself that, yo, I can still outwork these guys, I can still be the best player, it's a mentality thing. Because if you go out there and you believe you're the best player, then you're obviously going to make it. But if you sort of, you know, get to a high level and you get startled a bit, you know, you start losing confidence starts getting shaky, then obviously obviously you're gonna see those guys as better than you, which is not what you want to see. You want to be like, yo, I got here off of my hard work, I got here because I'm good enough. And then you have to look at your opponents who even might be more talented than you. You just have to say, yo, I'm here for a reason, you understand? Let me go out there, let me put my best foot forward. Yo, he might be better than me, you know, 364 days of the year, but on this day, in this match when I play him, I'm going to be better than him. That's sort of the mentality you need to have once you get to that high level, because you will see outrageous ballers who do put in the work as well. But that's the video on hard work and talent. I hope you enjoyed. I'm JT and I'm out.